The level of fear in this video is truly uncharted.
You want to know something? I'll give you a quote. We're a third world country now.
ICE is now reportedly going door to door. This is what you are going to do if ICE shows up at your door. By the way, this is advice for everybody. Anyone who lives in the United States, whether you're a citizen or not, whether your skin is as pale as paper and your great-great-great-great-grandfather came over here on the Mayflower. This applies to everyone. If ICE shows up at your door, you are not opening it. I don't care if they just want to ask you questions or they just want to talk. You are not opening the door.
You took me at Standing Rock! You put me in a dog kennel! I'm ready to do it again! You don't take our people! You don't take our people! You don't take them to Fort Snelling! You're taking our people to Fort Snelling! That's a disgrace!
They're taking the Native Americans?
My fellow Minnesotans, what's happening in Minnesota right now defies belief. News reports simply don't do justice to the level of chaos and disruption and trauma the federal government is raining down upon our communities. 2,000 to 3,000 armed agents of the federal government have been deployed to Minnesota. Armed, masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live.
I'm currently at a stoplight, so I'm not driving. However, right now, about a block away from my house, which I'm racing back to, they are going door to door. I just stopped and picked up a neighbor kid who is in danger of being picked up off of the road.
If you tell me you've seen this before, you're fucking lying. You have never seen a headline from any news station ever that says, "Hello, your war has started."
To come out and exercise excessive force against us, which they do every single day. And here they come.
Losers! Fuck that pig! Oh, that nonsense!
Get ready, get ready.
Fucking
Nazis! Peaceful protesters! Fucking Nazis!
What the fuck is going on at my hospital? What is this?
Looks like Corona times.
Nobody has said anything to me.
It's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.
You want to know why? I'm an expert. I've been to them. I spent 17 months in Southeast Asia while the draft dodger was playing golf, right? You know how I know we're a third world country? Because in third world countries, they have the military doing their police work in the cities when you walk around. I was in the Philippines the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and went under dictatorship. We went from nobody to a guy with a machine gun on every corner. That's what happens in a dictatorship. In comes the military. That's what's happening here. And people better wake up to it. You want to read something? Then read your history of Germany and start comparing the tactics of what happened in 1930s Germany to what's happening here. Read history. You learn from history.
Exactly.
And this is nothing new. This is all repeated. This is a...
Oh, he was a Navy SEAL?
It looks like to me, you know, of what's going on here. How dare Minnesota, we'll take care of ourselves. We don't need federal troops coming in here without warrants.
Some people have said this undermines local law enforcement.
It undermines the entire Constitution. The military cannot be turned loose unless it's a national emergency. They're going to tell me this is a national emergency?
You have never gotten the notification on your phone from Siri, from Alexa, from Bixby, from fucking anything that said, "Hello, today is the first start of your civil war. Begin." The first attack, the next strike will be on this date at this time. It was never announced. Why would it be announced this time? Before any facts came out about the assassination of Charlie Kirk, they announced the war on the left.
No
evidence. To this day, fake 2020 election. No evidence.
No.
Plenty of evidence about the war crimes on the narco boats. Alleged narco boats. They deny that. Plenty of evidence about Trump's involvement in the Epstein files. Fully redacted Epstein files. Nobody announces a government takeover. Nobody,
No.
there is no, Aaron isn't going to get on here and say, breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump just posted on Truth Social, the civil war has begun. That doesn't happen. A major indicator of the state of the country right now is a U.S. citizen being shot in the fucking face for no reason. A major indicator is they ask Kristi Noem, how many U.S. veterans have been deported? She says 0. They say, okay, talk to this man on Zoom. A U.S. veteran who was deported.
That's crazy.
J.D. Vance said full immunity for the ICE officer who shot Renee Good in the face, a mother.
What?
There's not going to be a Fox News headline. There's not going to be a CNN headline. Elon Musk isn't going to tweet anything. Stephen Miller isn't going to host his podcast with his wife and announce. There is no announcement. You have to understand and admit it to yourself. This is what it looks like. Blatant, unlawful, unconstitutional bullshit. Attacking a country under the guise of extracting an evil dictator, then telling everybody you're going to steal their oil, run their future oil indefinitely, sell that oil on American land, and then store the money from that oil in offshore accounts. And every time we say the clear thing of, hey, this is unlawful as fuck, we bullshit answer. 2 people were shot in Portland today. The Trump administration claims that Portland looked like a war zone, so they sent the National Guard there. And then the Supreme Court said, no, you can't just send the National Guard anywhere with no evidence to back up your allegations. This is what we're seeing. There's not going to be an announcement. You're not going to open this app one day and there be some official announcement that it has started. It's scary, but it's here. They shot a U.S. citizen in the face and gave the man a pass immediately.
So we're out here, the crowd is gathering, and they're definitely already getting a little frustrated. They got their little Bluesmobile announcement squad car out there, yelling at people to get off federal property that are in a street that is owned by the state of Minnesota. It's Bloomington, it's Fort Snelling. They're on this side of the barricade. That barricade has a sidewalk on the other side that's still Minnesota property, not federal property. And they're saying that if we were on their side of the street, we're on federal property, and using that to threaten us.
Fucking Nazis! Peaceful protesters! Peaceful protesters! Fuck you, Greg! Fuck you! Fuck you! You can hear saying in your fucking face, you fucking bitch!
Do these people get arrested?
I'm sick and tired of senior Baptists us and not protect us. Are you here to arrest us, or are you here to protect us?
Of this land are the Native American people!
Congress now, oh Makiano, Congress now, oh
First, you should probably start recording. You're going to want to get as much video evidence of the interaction as you possibly can. If you want to be super precautious, using some sort of camera that's downloading video to the cloud as it's recording. So if the ICE agent decides to steal your phone and delete the video, you're still going to have video evidence. You can ask them to identify themselves or have them tell you what they're there for. I don't care what their answer is. You're not opening the door, not even a crack, and you're asking them for a warrant, a judicial warrant. The judicial warrant is going to say United States District Court at the top. It needs to be signed by a judge. The way you can tell that is the signature line at the bottom should identify that it is a judge. And that warrant should have your residential address on it. They have to be specific in identifying where they are entering and where they are searching. So if it does not say your address on there, that's not a valid warrant and you don't need to let them in. It better be your right address. If you live in an apartment complex, it better have your unit number. Make them hold the warrant up to a window, or if they can, slide it under the door, because what are we doing? Not opening the door. Now, if they do have a warrant, a valid warrant with your address on it, signed by a judge, legally you are supposed to let them in. And I will leave it at that. If they do not have a warrant, that should be end of story. You're going to say to them, I do not consent to you entering my home. Loud and clear, so the videos get it. However, they are going to lie to you. They're going to lie to you and say they have one, it's in the car, we're getting one. They're going to try to strong arm you, scare you, or convince you to open that door. That door is staying closed. In this next piece of advice, it's not the advice that I would like to give, but it is the most legally sound advice that if you do end up in court, this is the best way to set yourself up. So if they barge their way through the door, continue to say loud and clear that you do not consent to them entering your home. You do not consent to them searching your home. And you will tell them that you would like to speak to an attorney. If they are trying to arrest you, if you are not free to go, assert your right to an attorney. They're not going to listen to you, but the purpose is that you have evidence that you did not consent to this. You're not going to say anything else, okay? You're not going to answer.
Bill Gates? Mark Zuckerberg? Really strange. This 19-year-old guy drops out from Harvard and founds Facebook, okay? And now he's a billionaire.
Right.
How does that happen, guys?
How does that
Well, it
happen?
must be the American dream. Oh, ChatGPT, guys.
I thought it was a woman.
Really strange. If you have a dream and you just follow it, you can become a billionaire in America. Yeah. It's all just a scam, right? Google, it's all just a scam, okay? What you need to understand about these companies is they were all founded with US military technology that is public, okay? The internet is a US military technology. Google, the search engine, it's all US military technology. And they were given to these guys for free. Why would they do that?
Yeah, why would they do that?
If you think that we're ruled by secret societies, and it's really these secret societies that control the world, and they want this technology out there to better surveil people, it makes a lot more sense, right? Because if the Pentagon said, hey, we have this free computer that you can use, you'd be like, I'm not gonna use this computer because you'll spy on me, right? But if Mark Zuckerberg says, hey, free Facebook, guys, want to use it? You're like, yeah, sure, Facebook, yeah. He's a dork from Harvard. Of course he can be trusted, right? Same strategy, okay, guys?
They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And at grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools, they're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street, just plain grabbing Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans, kidnapping innocent people with no warning and no due process. Let's be very, very clear. This long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. Instead, it's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota by our own federal government. Last week, that campaign claimed the life of Renee Nicole Good. We've all watched the video. We've all seen what happened. And yet, instead of conducting an impartial investigation so we can hold accountable the officer responsible for Renee's death, the Trump administration is devoting the full power of the federal government to finding an excuse to attack the victim and her family. Just yesterday, 6 federal prosecutors, including the longtime career prosecutor leading the charge to investigate and eliminate fraud in our state's programs, quit their jobs rather than go along with this assault on the United States Constitution. But as bad as it's been, Donald Trump intends for it to get worse. This week, he went online to promise that, quote, The day of retribution and reckoning is coming. That's a direct threat against the people of this state who dared to vote against him 3 times and who continue to stand up for freedom with courage and empathy and profound grace. All across Minnesota, people are stepping up to help their neighbors who are being unjustly and unlawfully targeted. They're distributing care packages and walking kids to school and raising their voices in peaceful protest, even though doing so has made many of our fellow Minnesotans targets for violent retribution. Folks, I know it's scary, and I know it's absurd that we all have to be defending law and order, justice, and humanity while also caring for our families and trying to do our jobs. So tonight, let me say once again to Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, end this occupation. You've done enough. Let me say 4 critical things to the people of Minnesota. 4 things I want you to hear as you watch the news and look out for your neighbors. First, Donald Trump wants this chaos. He wants confusion. And yes, he wants more violence on our streets. We cannot give him what he wants. We must protest loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. Indeed, as hard as we will fight in the courts and at the ballot box, we cannot and will not let violence prevail. You're angry, I'm angry. Angry is not a strong enough word, but we must remain peaceful. Second, you are not powerless, you are not helpless, and you are certainly not alone. All across Minnesota, people are learning about opportunities, not just to resist, but to help people who are in danger. Thousands upon thousands of our fellow Minnesotans are going to be relying on mutual aid in the days and weeks to come, and they need our support. Tonight, I want to share another way you can help. Witness. Help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities. So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution. The third thing I want to say to you tonight is, we will not have to live like this forever. Accountability is coming at the voting booth and in court. We will reclaim our communities from Donald Trump. We will reestablish a sense of safety for our neighbors, and we will bring an end to this moment of chaos, confusion, and trauma. We will find a way to move forward, and we'll do it together, and we'll not be alone. Every day, we are working with business leaders, faith leaders, legal experts, and elected officials from across this country. They've all seen what Donald Trump is trying to do to our state, and they know their states could be next. And that brings me to the fourth thing I want to say tonight, Minnesota, how incredibly proud I am of the way that you've risen to meet this unbearable moment. But I'm not at all surprised, because this is who we are. Minnesotans believe in the rule of law, and Minnesotans believe in the dignity of all people. We're a place where there's room for everybody, no matter who you are or who you love or where you came from. A place where we feed our kids, we take care of our neighbors, and we look out for those in the shadows of life. We're an island of decency in a country being driven towards cruelty. We will remain an island of decency, of justice, of community, of peace. And tonight I come before you simply to ask, don't let anyone take that away from us. Thank you, protect each other, and may God bless the people of Minnesota. My fellow Minnesotans.
I mean, why not bless everybody? Okay? Everybody. Anyways, do you guys think that speech was honest? Or, because from what I could tell, he was just reading from a script. So I don't really know how to think about that. But I think it's really unfortunate what's going on right now. And we'll get into more videos about that later on. It's super deep, super scary. I can't imagine what you guys are going through right now. I don't know, because I'm living in the Netherlands, and so I really haven't experienced that, but I can imagine it's pretty scary.
What is this? This is like in the circle of the emergency room opening. What is this? What are we doing?
Okay, that's obviously military
What's going
setup.
on in here?
It's the military.
I try to keep you guys up to date, but there is so much this morning from yesterday and overnight that so first of all, ICE agents are holding some Native Americans hostage until their tribal leaders sign an immigration agreement allowing them to go onto the tribal lands. See, these are sovereign nations. The federal government does not have access to federal lands. The report I heard was that 3 Native Americans are being held, being detained as leverage, basically as a hostage to try to get the tribal leadership to sign the agreement to allow the feds to come do immigration raids on tribal land.
No.
There is a neighborhood in Minneapolis that's on fire this morning because I set off flashbangs and chemical grenades that have started fires in the neighborhood. They tear gassed a house with children.
Wait, does she say she set off those bombs, or I'm confused. Let me scroll back. Sorry, guys.
Because I set off flashbangs and chemical grenades that
Oh,
have
ICE.
started fires in the neighborhood. They tear gassed a house with children in it. There's a video you can go watch where people are being carried out of the house and the bystanders are saying, "Is that a kid? Is that a kid?" That's a kid. One bystander said it appeared that the child had been pew-pewed, but that's not confirmed. We don't know. We know paramedics were carrying this child-sized person out, whether it was from a pew-pew or the tear gas. Either way, there's a child being carried out because of what ICE has done.
All right, y'all. So I'm reading the comments, and somebody is saying a 6-month-old baby in the car stopped breathing, finally recovered in the car from the tear gas, and that is what she's talking about. This is what happened here. This is crazy. Like, what makes you want to do something like that? You see that the car is completely full of children, and then you throw tear gas into the car. Come on now. They've been through the chaining. They've had their tear gas or pepper spray in their face. They know it's going to be super extreme for little children. This is crazy.
We saw a video 2 days ago of a man where they literally George Floyded him and then carried him off, and he looked unalived to me. And as of yesterday, he's unaccounted for. And Trump has announced starting February 1st, he is cutting all federal aid to all blue states, which will end in nothing less than the collapse of our system as we know it. Like, not just blue states. If blue states fall, red states are coming with them.
What?
Is this enough yet?
What?
How is peaceful protesting going to help us here? It's not. It is time to do more. And no one is coming to help us. Go love your neighbor. And not just with your words.
By the way, you guys, I am not promoting anything that these people are talking about. I'm just curious about what's going on in the States, and these are the videos that are popping up. I don't say you need to do any of this. I don't say any of this is true. I actually would like to know from you guys if any of this is true. Is this really going on? Because just like, when we heard about the Miami aliens, everybody from Florida said they didn't see anything like that. There's several things that go on in the media that looks like it's true. And then when you speak to people from that city or that country, county, they've never heard of it. So is this actually going on, or is this something that's just to scare people in other countries not to come to America? Just saying. Just asking. Let me know in the comments.
They weren't supposed to find that door. One of the girls was wiping the kitchen counter in their Texas rental when she noticed a thin line in the back panel. They pushed everything aside and realized there was a hidden door built straight into the cabinet. The moment they cracked it open, a heavy, sour smell rushed out, so strong it felt like something had been rotting down there for a long time. That's when things stopped feeling normal. Still, they grabbed a light and went down together. And as soon as they reached the steps, they saw it. The walls were covered in strange drawings. Not art, not graffiti, just messy, uneven symbols stretching all the way down. They kept walking until the beam of the flashlight caught something at the bottom. Something so unexpected that all of them screamed and ran back up without even thinking. And that was only part one. Based on what I just told you, what do you think scared them that badly? They weren't.
I'm pretty sure it was a dead body.
Why would they take something off the end of Daniel? The destruction of Bel and the dragon. Cut off from the end of Daniel. This is a 212-year-old Bible. You're currently scanning it in. Watch. This Bible contains the Apocrypha. For those of you who don't know, the Apocrypha are books of the Bible that were removed as non-canonical. Ecclesiasticus. Basically, the Catholic Church went in there and said, these books fit our narrative and these books don't. Baruch. We're going to take the ones out that we don't like and we're going to make the rest of them an entire religion. And you're going to believe it. History of the destruction of Bel and the dragon. Cut off from the end of Daniel. Why would they take something off the end of Daniel, which is a book with a ton of end times prophecy? Kind of like taking the end off a movie. The Maccabean Revolt. Before you read the Bible, go delve into some history on ancient Israel. You got to know what was going on in that point in time or else you won't understand the Bible. Another 700 to go on this one. And then we have this one, which is about 3 times as long. We thought it'd be better to get the oldest Bible out first. Currently on page 658. I got some more crazy travel coming up and check out some alien portals and frequency energy. Party with some famous scientists and some NASA representatives and talk about this Bible some more, but we're going to make it available for everybody to see. Information should be free, just as God intended. Going to post it online for free. Shout out to my homie Jesus for making all this possible. And John.
Do I got a blunt in my ear?
Ah, John and Jesus bringing you to business. Crazy if Jesus could see us now. You know, he was like out doing miracles and shit, and here I am scanning on my scanner to put the Bible on the internet for the people to get the information. Goes out.
Because they decide to do this at school time. I don't know how to plead enough with people. This is happening. This is happening. They are stealing people. Okay, and I just get a notification that my kid's school is going into lockdown. If you are out there right now acting like everything's totally fine, you're just gonna like go get a massage or like go out to brunch with some friends, you need to stop. You need to open your eyes because the reality of what is happening is atrocious. And don't give me some bullshit like, well, if you follow the law. Look at the 4th Amendment.
Every time I go down that Bayside Miami Mall rabbit hole, that shit scares the hell out of me. Because how is it that you can Google, you can search, you can ask ChatGPT what happened and nobody can tell you what happened? It's like whoever wiped this shit clean, wiped the whole internet clean. And for those of you that don't remember what happened, Bayside Miami Mall, people said they seen large figures, 7 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet tall figures in this mall that came through a portal. Police was called. It was a whole lot of police there, mind you, but when the reports come out, they're saying that they came to the mall because of teenagers fighting. If you look at the footage of this,
or fireworks,
the footage that's still there, you'll see all of these damn police
calls. I
calls.
still have some
Why
footage.
Would you send that many police calls just for teenagers fighting? Okay, went down a few rabbit holes. Videos that were up of people saying what they really seen are gone. So you telling me that people just made all this shit up? That's what you telling me? How the fuck is it possible for all this information to come out at one time? Videos, etc., etc., etc. And I'm gonna say this is for entertainment purposes only. But there was videos on all platforms. saying what these people saw. Now these videos are gone. I guess I'm the one tripping, right? Teenagers fighting does not mandate a whole police station to come to Bayside Miami Mall. And if you don't believe any of this, go down the rabbit hole. I've made videos about this before. I'm still confused. I just do not understand how this shit happened and we know nothing about it. Every time I...
What does Vladimir Putin know that we don't know? Because he passed a
lot
a few years ago, which we literally passed the opposite law. And I'm going to tell you, and this should make you ask a lot of questions.
Okay.
Who's right and who's wrong. So get this. In our countries, in the 2010s, they banned GMO labels, which means they paid a lot of money and lobbied to make a law so that they didn't have to label food that contains genetically modified food as being GMO. In Russia, they banned GMOs. So we're talking the literal opposite thing. Over there, they're getting rid of them. And here, they're trying to hide them. And the craziest part is, would Ford or Dodge or Volvo or something ever hide the logo of their car?
No.
Of course not. They want to flex. They want to say, this is our car. Boom, bang, bang. We made it. We're proud of it. Monsanto wanted to hide their products from consumers. The excuse was they didn't think that the public understood the science. In other words, you literally are too foolish and too low IQ to be able to make a decision for yourself. You don't understand the science. And the science is settled. Now, I don't know about you, but when I find out the truth about GMOs and look at the other side of the story that's not promoted by the mainstream, it makes me really want to detox and to boost my DNA strands.
Why did they mute him? Uh-oh. See, and you see, since I've been recording this, these videos have been messing up because they don't want you to get the information or because they want you to click off of this video. Just stay with me. These are some good videos. What happened though? Sorry, bud. We got the first part.
Alright, so everybody been wanting to know what I saw in the Euphrates River. Euphrates River. We're patrolling on the Euphrates River, and we're in these boats. And we're probably like on the river about 15 or 20 minutes. And a Marine is pointing at something. I'm like, what the fuck is he pointing at? Like, why are you pointing? If I'm pointing at something, I'm shooting it. So, what's the deal, homie? So the guy that's fucking driving the boat, he goes over to like this, I don't even know what the fuck to call it, really. It was like a building on the water that goes underneath the water. It's really weird as hell. But underneath this building, you can see like caverns or like doorways. And while we're going up towards these doorways that we can see really well underneath this water, it's so clear that I can see a whole bunch of shit. And when we get a little bit closer to this, like, this building or this embankment, whatever the fuck you want to call it, we start seeing lights under the water. There's several lights under the water, and people are starting to freak out. Like, what the fuck is this? I'm not saying nothing because I'm stunned. I'm like, man, what is this shit? That's what I'm saying to myself. So one Marine, so freaked out, he starts to shoot at this shit. He's shooting at lights. These lights, there's probably like maybe 5 or 6 lights. They all come together as one and make some type of sound underneath this water. and almost flips our fucking boat. But this thing turns into a craft, fucking shoots through the water into one of these caverns. And when we look at where it's going, we see something chained up, and this thing is fucking breathing. I don't know what the fuck it was, but people started shooting the lights out of this thing, and it didn't die, trust me. This thing got mad. So I'm telling the dude that's driving the boat, get us the fuck out of here. This thing almost knocked us off of this fucking thing. It probably was gonna drag us down. So he gets us out of there. And when we go back to the base to debrief, they automatically tell us, nah, this ain't happened. We're not writing this down. What we're gonna say is that we ran into a school of fish that almost knocked us off this fucking boat. Total bullshit. But that's not the only thing we seen under there.
What?
All right.
So I just had one of the creepiest things that's ever happened to me in my entire life. I'm about to go in my house. I'm about to calm down. It's 2:33 Friday night. I guess Saturday morning now. And my wife's Native American, and I'm about to tell her about this because I don't know what to do. But this is just one of the freakiest things that ever happened to me ever. And it was here in Oklahoma. I'm not going to say the name of the place that happened because the last time I did that, the place got really harassed and people were down there searching for stuff. But I'm trying to go out and find some creepy stuff for you guys and do some of these creepy videos that y'all like. And I'm not going to go out anymore because I'm worried that I've just invited something back into my home. I'm cruising down this little road, and there's a little cemetery, and there's this old, really old church there, and it's a tiny, tiny little church that probably can't fit more than 30 or 40 people in it. And I'm freaking out. I have chills. I'm almost sick to my stomach. But there was a light on in this church, and I was like, that's weird. This was like 20 minutes ago. There's this light on this church, and as I slow down to go past it, and this church is... Anyhow, I saw movement like shadows, so I slowed down almost to a complete stop, and then I saw it was two people doing what looked like some kind of dance, and all I could see was silhouettes, and I thought, oh, that's weird. And then it was like they froze, and I felt like they were staring right at me. They just froze in the window, and I couldn't see their face, but it felt like they were staring right at me. So I just went ahead and sped up, and immediately, I could hear breathing in the back seat.
What?
And I'm like, I literally look back there. I'm looking in the rearview mirrors, and I'm terrified to even look. But on and off the whole rest of the way home, I thought I could hear this breathing noise. And I'm sitting in the car because I don't want to get out of the car because I have to get out of the car and walk down our long-ass driveway and go in the house. And I'm kind of hoping she just wakes up so I don't have to walk in there alone and everything be off and all the lights be off. So that video series is not coming for you guys. So I just had one.
I cannot imagine looking over at a car driving by and seeing this inside. There is absolutely no information floating around about this video, and I'll make sure to tag the original creator whose video I saw about it, but who I really want to hear from is whoever took the video, because as they were filming, they captured something extremely creepy as this car drove past them on the road. Now, a lot of people
that is creepy.
Are saying that these passengers look no longer alive, and that the driver intentionally put masks on their face to seem less suspicious. He's also wearing a mask, possibly to shield his identity. Others were saying that it's possible that the driver is using props to get through the carpool lane, and that maybe he had taped their heads to the headrest to make sure that they stayed upright, but I don't know. While the figures in the backseat don't look so convincing, the way this person's eye looks with her skin sucked in around her neck is straight nightmare fuel, prop or not.
Yeah.
Someone else in the comment section said that they actually heard about this man and there's supposedly an urban legend behind all of this. They said that this man supposedly lost both his wife and children and couldn't deal with the grief, so he created these life-size dolls to replace them. And if that's the case, it makes this whole thing more sad than scary. But what do you think? I cannot.
Hey, you need to go ahead and get an external hard drive, 2 terabytes or more, and start downloading all your favorite music and movies and shows and books, and download a copy of Wikipedia. That's not a joke. You can download a copy of Wikipedia. All that kind of stuff. Y'all need to get a copy of it on an external hard drive just in case anything happens. Because what are you going to do if the internet goes away? What are you going to do if you got to be on the move and you can't use your phone? What are you going to do if the power goes off? Yeah. Have some little laptop you can plug a hard drive into and fill that hard drive up with media. That way you'll be informed and entertained in the hardest of times.
I don't think anybody's going to be worried about being entertained.
Maybe. Hey.
What did you say is going to happen on January what?
20th.
What's going to happen?
A black hole appeared. The black hole appeared.
And do what? What's it going to do?
Accept us.
What? Where are we going to go?
What?
Where are we going to go?
To the other universe.
Any asteroids?
But this is got the planet 5,000.
Oh. There's going to be how many asteroids?
Do not die on 2025.
Why don't...
2013 is space events. On January.
Oh.
In January, a black hole will affect the Earth. On January 20.
Oh. That's in 4 days, y'all.
So now you're telling me that the reason all of the UFOs, UAPs, motherships, spaceships, aliens, orbs have been showing up around military bases is because of a special group of individuals with gifts known as the psionics team who are summoning them there. I'm sorry, what in the Minority Report did I just find out today? Because yes, there is apparently a group of gifted individuals. Now, if you know, there was a group of children decades ago that got brought in for testing of psychic abilities. So now you're telling me that the reason all of the UFOs, UAPs, motherships...
What's that? Oh, more and more people are talking about how they're creating Faraday rooms, and when they're in there, nothing happens, but it's when they exit, things get a little wild. Tell me more! Yeah, so people that are in these Faraday rooms, which the purpose of these is to actually block certain frequencies and electromagnetic fields and different things like that. It's to prevent people from listening to conversations and so on. But what people are talking about is when they're in these rooms, they actually feel like, and they have control of their brain, like they're able to come up with their own thoughts and feel like they're the ones doing it live. They said that their clarity is through the roof and they're able to focus better than they ever have. But then the second they leave the room, all of the sudden, different information comes from all these directions where their mind starts just racing and coming up with certain things that they're not thinking of. And it starts to catch them off guard and kind of make them feel a little bit crazy. He said it's always these wild, intrusive thoughts and they feel like they have no control anymore. Oh, goody. So essentially what they're saying is they say they feel like they have zero control of their own personal thoughts when they're not inside the Faraday room. Okay.
And how do you create one of those?
Sheet from a girl on TikTok who said this was from the GATE program, and she had to kind of decode and
I did this.
What the message was saying. The theory behind the GATE program was that this wasn't to test your hearing or to put you in a special program or see what type of accelerated learning you would do. Here's
Something
What is
freaky
happening?
going on, and I'm the only one that lives
Did y'all
here, and
see
I need to
that?
tell somebody, and I need some opinions. Can you listen and give me your opinion, please? Okay, look. So me and my
What's
husband
happening?
got a new build house 3 years ago in Vegas. Okay, these are big houses, and the neighbors next door. God, I hope nobody follows me. I hope nobody. Okay, we don't really speak, so they. Anyway, when we first moved in, it was a bunch of Mexicans that live next door, and that's fine. That's fine. It makes sense. These are big houses. They got all the bedrooms and all the bathrooms, and I get along with all ethnicities. I'm going to get that out of the way, and I speak Spanish, so I know they were Mexican because I'd be in the backyard, and I'd hear the Mexican music. I would hear them speaking in Spanish. I could smell the aromatics of the cooking of the Mexican food, and at least once a week, I had to throw a soccer ball back over the wall. We don't have fences. We have walls in Vegas here. And so after a year of being here, my husband got sent out of town to work, and he has not been back. He's been gone for almost 2 years, bouncing around the country, traveling, working. He comes home to visit. I visit him. That's the point. So listen to this. Here's the trippy part of what I can't wrap my head around. I'm confused. So I have a Ring doorbell. I do have a Ring doorbell. And the dynamic over there with the Mexicans, they're not Mexican no more.
What?
But hear me out. There was a dad, there was a grandpa, there was a teenage boy, there was a maybe late teen, early 20s girl, a couple of smaller kids.
Sleeper cell.
And maybe a few other like teenage, older, early 20s kids in a house, and a mom, and maybe a grandma. It was a lot of them in there, which, like I said, is understandable. There's space. There's plenty of space. And I was going out of town about 3 months ago. Hold on, what is this, December? It was like 3 or 4 months ago. I was going out of town. And I mean, we've spoken before. Me and the Mexicans have spoken before. The kids are always pleasant. They always
Why does she feel the need to say the Mexicans?
Sometimes our packages get messed up and we knock on each other's doors to switch packages around and things. I've talked to them before, and I was outside, and I was like, I've known these people a long time, so I hollered over because I saw the grandpa outside, and I was like, hey, in Spanish, I said I was getting ready to go visit my husband, and could one of their teenagers, if I paid them, could they watch my cats? Just, come over and feed them once a day, their wet food. And he looked at me crazy. He looked at me like I was crazy. And then this girl comes out the front door. He was right by the front. He was like on the porch. And then this girl comes out, the early 20s girl. And she smiled real big, and I smiled back at her. And she always spoke English, so I spoke to her in English. And I asked her, I was like, hey, I'm about to go visit my husband. I was going to see if I could pay you if you could come over here, once a day and feed the cats. I only got 2 cats, but, they like their wet food. And she looked at the grandpa and started speaking to him in Arabic. And I was like, did I miss something? I missed something. Did I miss something? I think something has been missed. Because I've always spoken to them in Spanish, and they always speak to me in Spanish. And I didn't think much of it. And then a few days later, they had the garage door up, and some people were leaving in like hijabs and full head to toe Arabic garments. And like I said, I get along with all cultures, but I'm confused on exactly what's going on here because I checked my Ring doorbell. I went way back. The vehicles have not changed. Huh? There's always 2 vehicles parked on the street that belong to
creepy.
Adult children. Then there's 2 vehicles in the garage and 2 vehicles in the driveway. They're all the same vehicles. The vehicles have not changed. But this big family of Hispanics, they were from Mexico, but this big family of Hispanics is now the same size family, the same teenage boy, the same younger kids, the same looking grandpa, the same looking dad, the same looking mom, except now she's in a hijab and covered, and there's the same vehicles. It's the same amount of people. It's the same kind of age group of people. It's the same people.
I mean, this is creepy.
But now they're not Mexican anymore. They're Arabic. They don't speak Spanish no more. It's not the same people. They're the same people. They look like the same people, but they're not the same people. And I've checked my ring for a U-Haul. I've checked it for anything. But the fact remains, all the cars are the same. They're the same exact cars.
Yeah, so that's pretty strange. That's creepy.
What is that? I mean, I mind my business. I stay in, I don't talk to anybody. Them's the only neighbors I know in this whole neighborhood. I got neighbors across from me. I wave at the daughters when they're riding the bikes. Hi, how y'all doing? Cute little girls. I don't talk to nobody else. I always say hi to these people. And they always spoke Spanish to me. And now they don't speak Spanish. Somebody tell me what happened. Somebody
tell me what happened. I want to know.
I mean,
what do you think happened here?
Is the Mexicans moved out and the Arabic people moved in, which that's fine.
What's that? Oh, there's whistleblowers coming out talking about how there's certain classifications inside of morgues. What? Tell me more! Yeah, what these people are saying is there's certain classification inside of morgues, and what that means is there's the human classification, and then there's the non-human classification. They said that there's a completely different procedure that you take for the non-humans, and we're not talking about dogs, cats, or animals. Meaning when a human passes away, certain processes happen, such as body going stiff, maybe the mouth opening, things like that. So they have to prepare them a little bit different way than they would the non-humans. They said with the non-humans, typically what will happen is they balloon up a lot more and they don't fit inside of a regular size coffin, and so they have to make a custom one for them. They said there's a pretty rigorous process for them to be able to keep this quiet. They literally have to sign NDAs, and they have to agree to being basically phone tapped and being monitored on the daily. Oh, goody.
Well, NDAs, they definitely violated.
People that were in the GATE program as children are all reporting similar dreamscapes, like the roller coaster highway, the pool rooms, or Mall World. But it's only a select few of these former GATE kids that remember this collective dreamscape that I'm going to share with you today. And if you are part of that small percentage of former GATE kids that remember this dreamscape, I'm going to tell you what it means. This particular dreamscape is mostly characterized by the balcony, the stark white walls, the black and white checkerboard floor, and bonus points if you get the twisting staircase. Usually how this dreamscape shows up for me is it's usually not this dark. It's always extremely bright. It was hard for me to find a lot of pictures like that first one, but there's always a balcony. There's always stairs heading up to different levels, and the checkerboard black and white floor. It was interesting to see in my comment sections that this is yet another shared dreamscape that former GATE kids share. And I've always had a somewhat simplistic interpretation of buildings like this when people bring them up, but it wasn't until recently I did some deep dives and realized that you are really deep into some stuff if you are coming to this dreamscape. Rooms with checkerboard floors represent trickster energy. So you might have heard of trickster entities, but trickster energy is the whole energy behind them. When you're in the astral realm, trickster energy can manifest into many different ways, including entities or things like spiral staircases, rivers, or these checkerboard pattern floors. Trickster energy in a dream is an overall shadow encounter. It takes your insecurities and it plays with them like it's a toy. Trickster energy will take the things that you most fear, that you most feel guilt or shame over, and hang it in front of your face like it's a game. So if trickster energy is manifesting in the astral realm as this black and white tile floor, there's actually a really devastating twist to it. floor in the astral realm represents your foundation. The environment that appears around you with all of the objects that appeared in front of you is synonymous to just how you translate the world around you in general. When you use your environmental surroundings to decode how the world works for you, and it's all set on this foundation of the black and white tile floor, this means that nothing matters because it's all set on top of a game. What makes these type of dreams so unfortunate for former gate kids is that it is a very clear sign that you are indeed part of something bigger than yourself when you do visit these dreamscapes. And don't get me wrong, it's very possible that your psyche could just be manifesting this black and white tile floor as a form of trickster energy, and that alone.
I better not have this dream tonight. That's what I do know.
Taken into consideration that this checkerboard pattern in the floor is part of something way bigger than they could have ever known as a young child getting tested with headphones and memory cards. Especially with increasing information tying the GATE program and similar programs to this certain organization that created this cosmology. If you know that organization, leave it in the comments, please. People.
Buddy, listen, I'm not scared of you, man. I'm not scared. You've been following me. I don't care.
Wow, this is not AI created.
I know you can probably hear me. Your crazy cameras are probably zooming in on my face. I am not scared of you. You've been following me for 45 minutes. If you were gonna hurt me, you would have done it by now. I'm harmless, dude. I'm out here on a walk by myself, middle of the desert.
I have goosebumps.
Why are you following me?
What are those balls he just dropped off?
Me. I have nothing. I have no weapons. All I have is this phone, and I'm taking a video of you. I know you're trying to pretend.
So this is like right next to Area 51.
Over there. I can still see you on this video, and I'm posting this on TikTok later.
Oh.
I ain't scared, man. You obviously don't want to hurt me. What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
What? Is he gonna look at the balls?
Let me go home. That's all I want. Just let me go home.
That's weird. Oh, what's happening? Oh, what is it? Oh my goodness.
At least
what was it?
Human bodies were found in this man's home just yesterday, and he had stolen these corpses from cemeteries. This is a very disturbing story, and it's a developing story that's just breaking. So this man is 34-year-old Jonathan Christian Gerlach. He is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and this is the cemetery that he was stealing bodies from, Mount Moriah. Now, Mount Moriah Cemetery is infamous because it is sort of abandoned. I used to live in Philadelphia, and I actually filmed a video for my YouTube at this cemetery because it is so abandoned. I had never visited a place quite like this that was so overgrown, but the things found inside Jonathan's home were shocking. Like I said before, over 100 sets of human remains, human skulls, human skeletons, some of which belong to children. And this is a screenshot from the press conference earlier about this arrest. Prosecutors said that it was like walking into a house of horrors. Bones, skeletons lining the walls. And they stated that some of the skeletons are 200 plus years old. Locals recently had noticed a number of grave robbings taking place here at Mount Moriah, and so the police actually set up a sting operation. And
I just thought they'd disintegrate after a while.
In the complete darkness, the police caught Jonathan, and when they apprehended Jonathan, they found that he had a bag on him containing 30 sets of human remains. And it's a little unclear in the reporting, but they stated that these were the skeletons of children. I don't know if these were all children's bodies he had been stealing, but
like,
nonetheless,
hold on, you guys.
Gruesome discovery. Authorities also.
My computer is just flashing. Like, This is the second time. Remember the first time I asked what's happening, what's going on? First of all, something happened, okay, with the video that we're watching, that we're reacting to, or that I'm reacting to. And then there was a flash on my laptop, but I paid it no attention, but now it's doing it again. I'm trying to tell you that they are trying to prevent me from posting this video, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Announced that they found an additional 8 sets of human remains in a nearby storage unit. And because this is a developing story, they don't know how many bodies in total they're about to find. They don't know exactly who these skeletons belong to. They don't know how long they've been there. They also don't know if any of these skeletons were possible victims of this guy's. Those are all just questions that we have right now. And no motive has been released either. I don't know why this guy was stealing these remains. Nobody does. They haven't made any announcements relating to that. But the details of this case are just incredibly disturbing. It's just crazy because when I was actually in the Mount Moriah Cemetery filming my YouTube video, you could tell that this place would be an easy target for somebody like him because it was so abandoned. It was almost forgotten, completely overgrown, broken headstones, broken vaults. It's literally known as Philadelphia's Forgotten Cemetery. So I'm going to keep you guys updated on this because I am just as shocked as y'all are. And
Yeah.
I'm definitely eager to find out more about this case and the circumstances surrounding it.
I wonder what he did with them.
Dude, did that just say Fat Boy's Cooking? Oh, fuck you, Spirit.
Wait.
Yeah, this Fat Boy's Cooking. What of it?
Leave.
Yeah, I'm leaving. Pissing me off. I ain't leaving. I'm cooking. I'm cooking easy chicken. I ain't leaving. You're pissing me off, Spirits. How about, hey, John, that looks good. Hey, John, you're doing a great job.
Okay.
Insane. Rude ass Spirits. Rude ass Spirits. Well, nothing was as rude as what they did last night. But that was my fault. Because I got crazy and I took the Sam mask and I stuck it to the clock. And then all hell broke.
She decided to ski and went to the mountain, but that turned out to be the biggest mistake of her life. Because when this woman wanted to ski at night with her friends, they told her no since it was too cold outside. However, she still went alone and started skiing, and at first everything felt fine. But a few minutes later, she took off her mask to send a video to her friends, and what happened after was truly unsettling. Because after a short time, she noticed her nose was completely frozen and she couldn't feel anything, so her friends rushed her to the hospital, but doctors had to cut off her nose. She decided
I don't know. But if nobody was home and all that noise was going on, I don't know if I want to hear that, you guys. But go ahead and listen to it because I'm not trying to bring that over here. Especially with this crazy crap that's going on with my computer right now. No. I don't know.
Trigger warning for this topic. This is a very disturbing topic. You already know in Mexico a lot of crazy stuff happens. People who end up getting in the mix of like the crossfire. There's also a lot of kidnappings, right? And a lot of people going missing. So now what I'm going to talk about is Las Madres Buscadoras, which is basically this organization of mothers, a bunch of women who gather up looking for their loved ones who have gone missing. And they don't know if they got kidnapped, if they got killed, if they're still alive, but they're on the search for them. And
this is going to be happening in the States pretty soon.
Remains.
No pun intended.
¿Cuántos años lleva ya buscándolo?
En mayo cumple 2 años.
¿Nos puede contar un poquito de su historia, cómo se dio cuenta, cómo que estaba desaparecido?
Supimos ese mismo día porque se lo llevaron de su casa. Él estaba en el patio en su casa y llegaron y lo amenazaron 3 hombres con armas y le dijeron que saliera de su casa. y salió él y se lo llevaron en un carro y no es definido pues dónde se lo llevaron y pues ya no supimos nada de él.
I couldn't help but feel really, really like sorry for them. Obviously, if you're in that situation where one of your family members just got kidnapped or one of your family members is missing, you're already like on edge. But I feel like it's even crazier if your family member disappears in Mexico.
Yeah, of course.
And now the creator of the one specific group in Nogales, Sonora, her name is Patti. And what happened to her is that her son was going to work. They ended up stopping at El Oxxo, right? They were gonna get some water, some like hydrating fluid so they could like work. And then out of nowhere, some people with like weapons ended up stopping them and saying to one of his co-workers, yo, you gotta come with us. But since he was there, he ended up getting taken too. So he's been missing since 2015 and she's still like looking for him to this day. And then also there's another video of another guy on TikTok. He's also with another group of Madres Buscadoras.
En Tonalá, aquí están, que es difícil pues porque ellos están buscando a una persona desaparecida y el encontrar les mueve muchos sentimientos. Aquí no sabemos qué puede ver ahí abajo, hay mucho escombro, pero en la parte de aquí arriba, en esta parte de acá, les voy a enseñar nada más muy brevemente. Quitaron las escaleras, pero nos llegaba el olor, entonces ahí pueden ver moscas y bueno.
What the fuck? Trigger warning for this topic. This is a
My neighbors are aliens. There's no other way around it. We call them the...
All right, you guys, if you were with me this entire time during this video, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.